Hello, everyone. My name is Karen Shelton. I am the owner of My Path Unwinding Travel, and we are super excited to be presenting a special webinar all about the yacht life in Croatia. So I hope everyone can hear and see me. If you are on, please say hello in the chat, post a comment, introduce yourself, and feel free to ask questions along the way, and I will try my best to answer them. But while we're waiting for people to join us, let's just start out with a little view of what the yacht life is like in Croatia. Well, it looks like we had a little technical difficulties. Let's try it again. Well, it looks like my video might have not fully uploaded, but I hope that gave you an initial look of the energy and amazing offerings that you can experience on a yacht in Croatia. And I thank everybody for joining us. Hi, Kaylee from Connecticut. Aloha, Margaret. Hi, Teresa, Rachel. Thank you so much. And my husband, Harp Shelton, is watching. He was on the yacht with me in late May, and we're going to bring him on live to assist in talking about the yacht experience in just a little while. So I want to start out by talking about just why. Why would we want to go to Croatia? Croatia has so much to offer. It is the most incredible, beautiful country. It has an abundance of historical historical sites, natural beauty, cultural heritage, amazing food. And it is also really very low crime rate. It is a level one, so that's the lowest you can have from the US State Department in terms of warnings for safety and security. So, of course, it has the sparkling water, which is what we're going to see a lot more of on this webinar tonight. So, so many reasons to visit Croatia. Fun fact, Croatia has 10 UNESCO protected historical sites and 22 UNESCO intangible cultural heritage designations. So things like certain foods and certain songs are considered intangible cultural heritage, and Croatia has 22 of those. They also have 10 national parks and 8 nature parks. So there are just so many reasons, something for everyone. If you're into history, if you're into water, if you're into activity, if you're into food, Croatia has something for you. So I thought I would throw a slide in to talk about where Croatia is because not everybody understands exactly its location. It is located alongside the Adriatic Sea, as you can see here. So this area of yellow is all Croatia. Bosnia-Herzegovina is nestled in, and it is just across the Adriatic Sea from Italy. A lot of people don't realize how close it actually is to Italy. And there's a lot of history about the relationship between Italy and Croatia. Of course, there's a lot of history with the former Yugoslavia. There's a lot of Croatia experienced a lot of different uh, uh, turnovers in who controlled them. They were attacked. They were occupied over the years, and now they are, of course, a fully independent country. And it is just an amazing location. You would get to Croatia by a number of different ways. Split and Dubrovnik are probably the two most popular destinations to start a Croatia vacation, and they both have major airports. Zadar has a smaller airport, and Zagreb, which is the capital, also has a major airport. Now, there are some direct flights between the United States, but most likely you may be connecting from another city. For example, we flew into Split via Frankfurt, but there are connections from all the major cities in Europe. So um, that is the location, and you can see that that Croatia has all these little islands. There's actually over 1,200 islands across the coast of Croatia for you to explore and experience while you are sailing on a yacht. So, I wanted to share some of the appeal of visiting Croatia. And there's, of course, a number of ways of visiting Croatia, as I mentioned, or a number of reasons to visit Croatia. And there's a number of different ways of experiencing it. You can experience Croatia on a land tour and just stay in a couple of different hotels. You can, and maybe take a ferry from place to place or go out to an island for a day. You can experience Croatia on a regular cruise ship, and many cruise ships do stop in Croatia. When we were there, we saw a few, including Cunard, MSC, and uh, Emerald, which is kind of a smaller ship concept. So there's several different cruise ships that do sail through Croatia, but they will also be combined typically with Italy or perhaps Greece. So why would you want to take a yacht in Croatia? A yacht in Croatia is definitely just the most exclusive, special experience. When you charter a yacht in Croatia, it is exclusively for you and your sailing party. So you can completely customize the experience in terms of the ports that you're going to visit and the activities that you're going to do while you are on board. So it is a quieter experience in many ways, although you can make your yacht into a party if you choose to. But of course, it's not going to have the hundreds of people or thousands of people that a large cruise ship will have. You get to explore all the main towns and cities in Croatia, but you also get to experience some of the smaller towns, the little islands, and the little private coves where your yacht is the only vessel there and the only group of people there. So there's just so many benefits to yachting in Croatia versus experiencing it any other way. So here I'm showing the different ways to sail in Croatia. You can take, starting on the top right, those are sailing yachts. There's a catamaran going clockwise. There's a traditional yacht. And then in the top left corner is what's called the super yacht, sometimes called a mini cruiser. So it's a super yacht because it's much larger than most traditional yachts, and it's a mini cruiser because it's smaller than a cruise ship. The super yachts or mini cruisers have become incredibly popular. They hold typically anywhere between 20 to 38 passengers or so, along with a crew of approximately 10 to 14. And they have comfortable accommodations and a lot of features and public spaces to enjoy. So they're a little bit bigger, more spacious, more amenities than, let's say, a sailboat or a catamaran. But of course, they're not going to have all the benefits of a huge cruise ship. So this is a picture of a super yacht called the Symphony, and you can see when you take a closer look that it has plenty of space. It does have a slide that they can let down when they're on a swim day. There is a pool on board, two hot tubs on board. There is plenty of indoor and outdoor lounging space. There is an indoor dining room with a bar. There's also going to be a bar up on board. Depending on the super yacht that you are on, you may have a spa room where you can receive a massage and a sauna on board. You may experience may have a movie theater on board, or a fitness room, of course, as well. So there are a lot of different spaces that you can enjoy depending on the specific yacht that you choose um, to charter. I'm going to go ahead and add my wonderful husband, Harv Shelton, to the stage now. And Harv, I'm going to unmute you. And there we go. And put you on the spot for a minute and see if you can give us a highlight of why you loved yachting in Croatia versus experiencing Croatia in another way.
Thanks, Karen. Yeah, it was a fantastic experience. I'm definitely all about unpacking and packing once if I can. So, we got to see multiple cities there and islands in Croatia with the, benefit of cruising where you don't have to pack and unpack all the time. As you said, there's more than 1,200 islands there on the coast of Croatia. So that's where the islands in the Adriatic are concentrated. And basically, the cruise we're either bouncing between the mainland and the inner layer of islands, or we're actually bouncing between the first layer of islands and the second or third layer of islands, and just getting to see the history, but all getting to come back in the evening and enjoy the company of friends that we know. Just a fantastic way to travel for sure.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about what the cabins are like. So I would say this is a fairly typical cabin on board a super yacht. This is actually a little smaller probably than the cabin we just had on board the lovely Aretha yacht. So there is a comfortable bed. Sometimes the beds can be configured for two together, or they can be separated into two separate twin beds. There typically is a closet, some side tables, a desk. We did have a television in our room, and it does have satellite TV. We never once watched it. We're not TV watchers on our vacations typically, but it's there for those who want it. And importantly, that some people might wonder about is the rooms are climate controlled. So we did have our own air conditioning, and the room stayed quite cool and comfortable, throughout our stay. And there is a stateroom attendant or two that will make up your room daily and provide, make your bed, freshen up, give you fresh towels, and all of that great sort of thing. So it was a very comfortable room, and the bathrooms can be very, very comfortable as well. This is an example of a bathroom on the Agape Rose yacht. Our bathroom only had a single sink, not a double, but we did have a spacious shower. And I think we were both kind of surprised at how big the cabin and bathroom are on the yacht. They were larger than we experienced on many river cruise lines. So there was a lot of space available. And then each of the yachts also have some suites available. So sometimes a suite might be larger, have more amenities, have special inclusions, or even have private hot tubs and private terraces. So every cabin on the super yachts have their own private bathroom, Sarah. That's a great question. So you might not realize, because if you're thinking of a kind of a more traditional like catamaran or a smaller sail ship, you might not have your own your own bathroom, but this is a luxury experience, and so every cabin does have a private bathroom. Again, and they freshen it up daily. We had plenty of hot water. In fact, we had to be careful not to scald ourselves um, on one occasion until we learned how to work it. But everything again was quite comfortable. They had very nice bathroom amenities on this particular yacht. The body wash and shampoo and conditioner available for you. So that's a great question.
Karen, the one comment I would have on the staterooms is you mentioned the stateroom attendant. We got to know the restaurant bar staff well. We even got to know like the ship staff well and the captain. But the stateroom attendant, she was like magic. She would appear and disappear, and we never saw her. But she did a great job keeping our room clean and organized.
She really did. And it really was great because we didn't keep a set schedule. We often kind of, went to breakfast late or maybe didn't even have breakfast. We didn't spend a lot of time on our room, but it wasn't like we were, we sometimes just ran down there to grab something. We were in and out, but somehow she magically took care of our room every day and kept it up without us ever interrupting or crossing paths with her. So it was never a conflict. Our room also had robes and slippers. For those of you who know me, I'm a robe girl, and I was really excited that our room had robes and slippers. So speaking of the crew, I wanted to share a little bit about kind of who the crew is on this type of experience. And this yacht had a crew of 11. So you see the captain with his bars all the way on the right side of the bottom of this picture. And there was the kind of the deckhands, the guys that tied the ship down and made sure we were getting from place to place safely. And, I don't know all what they actually do, engine room kind of stuff. And then there was, as we mentioned, the cabin attendants. And then we had some really important people are the ones that were our servers. They were our bartenders and our dining room staff. And they were just super friendly, really attentive, made sure that, we always had a drink in hand or our coffee in the morning. They would, carry our coffee up to the deck for us, man the bar when we were up on the deck and that sort of thing. And then, of course, the chef on the top right, the most important person probably next to the captain on board. And he, was responsible for cooking all of the meals that we ate on board. He did have an assistant that worked with him. And he was really happy up there at the grill on one of our swim stop days where we did a big cookout for lunch. And it was amazing. And then the guy on the top left demonstrating how to use a life jacket, which was our quick safety demonstration on the first day, was our cruise manager. And the cruise manager was just the person responsible for making sure that all the logistics are on track, that everybody knows where we're going, what we're going to be doing, what time meals would be, what time we would get to certain ports. And he would also do daily presentations, kind of a little PowerPoint telling us about where we were going, what we were doing. He had a WhatsApp group for all of us and, would share information, restaurant recommendations, where to find the best ATMs, how to, what are some of the sites we might want to see during our free time. And every yacht charter that you would do with this kind of super yacht would include a cruise manager as part of the team, and just such an essential person. So Kaylee's asking, I did not put a picture here of the dining room, but the dining room, you can kind of, well, you only really see the bottom part here with the crew. Um, the dining room is a large area that I think we had 5. Do you remember, Harv, or did we have 4 tables of 10 or 5 tables of 8?
5 tables of 8 sounds right. Yep.
Five. So there were 5 tables of 8 when we ate in the dining room. At breakfast, it was sort of open seating. It was usually open for about 2 hours, and you could just go into breakfast at any time. And there was a light buffet put out for breakfast, along with a a menu of things that you could order. So these first 2 pictures here are the poached eggs and with avocado that I ordered for breakfast, made to order one morning. And this middle picture I think is incredible. This was a prosciutto that was put out at breakfast every morning. They would slice some, but you could slice, any for yourself. And oh my goodness, was it the most incredible prosciutto I have ever tasted. Who knew that Croatia is actually famous for prosciutto, along with a lot of other great food. Um, so so breakfast is kind of, at your leisure. And, they would tell you the time frame that breakfast would be served each day. And then ordinarily we would have one other meal on board. It could be lunch, it could be dinner, depending on your itinerary. If you remember early on, I said that your entire yacht experience can be customized. So when we plan your yacht charter, we will talk about, kind of each day, and does it make sense to include lunch or to include dinner? And then your other meal, you would have off ship in one of the ports with all the incredible food that they have. And so, it doesn't make sense to eat all your meals on board because there's so much great food around all these towns. So you can see also the great Greek salad over there. I had some of the best feta cheese ever. We had incredible seafood on the ship, off the ship. I would say the cuisine is a combination of like Greek and Italian. Is sort of what I would say. The food style, very Mediterranean like, and just I don't think we ate anywhere that wasn't great. Great cocktails everywhere as well, and the Croatia wine was really, really fantastic.
I'd agree to that for sure, Karen. It's similar to Greece and Italy. When you go and discover like the local wines, they're just fantastic.
We were really surprised at how great the local wine was. I mean, we always ordered the local wine because we truly, truly enjoyed it. And there was a lot of variety. They're very proud of their wine. They just don't have enough production. The joke is they drink it all. And so, they don't have any left, but really the production is smaller. And so, it's smaller batches, smaller vineyards, but there's some great wines and also some great, like, what do you call them? Like aperitif type wines, different like liqueurs that we got to enjoy when we were actually in town and on board. So, oh, okay. Somehow I highlighted Kaylee's question and we did answer that. So I'm going to have to figure out how to get it off the highlight. But while I'm doing that, we can talk a little bit about the swim stops. So Harv, would you share a little bit about what a swim stop was like on our cruise?
Absolutely. Yeah. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm a water sports guy, love paddleboarding. Got Karen out on a wet bike. So we went out on a jet ski. They have a bob, which is like an underwater situation where you hold on to handles and you wear a snorkel mask and it goes under. There's a saltwater pool deck that they lay out behind the ship. That basically it's a rectangular pool deck that's open at the bottom. There it is. That kind of gives you a place to hang out. That's also gives you a tie-up point for the kayaks, the paddle boards, the jet skis, and the bob. You see the water slide. Feel free to message me. I can send you a GoPro video of me going down the water slide. It was very fun.
And I have a video right here of Harv from the top of the ship. There he goes.
Right. Yeah, I mean, just great. I mean, these are basically islands, mostly kind of semi-inhabited islands off the coast of either a larger island or a coast off the coast of the mainland. And, they just go tie up. The captain, there's two kind of prevailing winds there in the Adriatic, and the captain knows, that day which way the prevailing winds are coming. And so they go in a cove based on what's more sheltered from the wind, and it just makes for a fantastic day. You can see in the picture on the left how clear the water is. I mean, I'm on my paddleboard and I can see 12, 15 feet down. And of course, never mind that, you're paddling along there and you might see like a little villa, you might see ruins that are 2,500 years old, like just, what an amazing, part of the world there in the Adriatic, with the history and the culture and the scenery.
It's so true. And, this swim stop was kind of just across the waterway from, I think we were in Havar the night before. You always stay docked overnight. And I think I have something to share about that in a minute. But you always stay docked overnight. And if you're going to do any sailing, it'll be during the daytime. So I think we left sort of mid-morning-ish, and it wasn't a long sail over to this, cove basically where they anchored and then set up this incredible pool day. And I mean, this inflatable pool actually has a net going through it. So if anybody is concerned, there are no sharks. But if anybody's concerned about any sea creatures, it's fully netted. The ladder honestly was a little bit hard to like climb out of to get back up. So it wasn't used as much, but you can see those inflatable chairs. We did hang out quite a bit there, just kind of on the edge of that pool, putting our feet in. They brought us wine. We did get in the water. As Harv said, there's a lot of water sports going on. Depending on the yacht charter and the way that you set it up, oftentimes all those water sports are included. Sometimes the motorized water sports, depending on the company, might have an additional charge. There were some ladies that got pulled around. There is always a little tender boat that's kind of a speedboat, and some ladies got pulled around on the banana boat. So it was just an incredible day. And that was a day also that, as you saw before, the chef was up there cooking, grilling, and we, just had an incredible, just super casual and super fun. And, when we do this next, we are going to be going again. We're going to really try to maximize these swim stops. Because it is, to me, just one of the most beautiful things about Croatia, although all the towns are also beautiful, and we'll talk about that as well. So that's cueing the next slide here is, what are we doing when we're not swimming? And that is, we are in, the different ports. So of course, here's the classic view of Dubrovnik. And but our cruise that we took in May left from Split and ended in Dubrovnik. And I think we had 4 or 5 port stops where every port was this beautiful historic, area where you would pull in and just see, history and hills and boats and clear water. And you could step right off the boat and go climb up to a fort, or go sit and have a glass of wine and look out at the water, or have an incredible meal and listen to live music, or even party late into the night with people that were visiting from all over the world. So every port has something to offer, whether it be e-bikes, hiking, going on wine tasting tours, olive oil tours, going to beaches. There's just so many options, or you can really just do nothing. One of our favorite things for me was just exploring like these historic cities within the walls. And, we did take some guided city tours, but I just loved wandering through the little mazes of, the the little cobblestone streets and shops by day and by night. I found that was just really, really special. Harv, what was some of your favorite things to do in port?
Well, I'm a history buff. I mean, I love the Greek era, Roman era, the city-states in the Middle Ages, and Croatia really has it all. I mean, that the documented history of that part of the world goes back 6,000 years, and it goes back further than that, even like undocumented. So, just having that mashup of the different parts of history and then the modern culture on top of that was fantastic. It's really it reminds you how young of a country the United States of America is.
Very true, very true. And, again, your itinerary can be customized, but in general, you are docked overnight. And so you can go out. I was kind of surprised when you don't scan on and off the ship. Everybody is just kind of responsible for making sure that they get back. Croatia, as we mentioned, just has a great safety record. We felt incredibly comfortable. Never felt uncomfortable, even walking through like, some of the little dark alleyways at nighttime. Never ever felt like something would occur. Like we weren't worried about pickpockets. We weren't worried about somebody jumping out at us. It just felt so comfortable, and it has such a reputation for safety. And it is really cool just being there at night too, because you kind of get to see, the town, see beautiful sunsets, have a great dinner. If there's cruise ships, they often are gone by then. So that's another advantage of being able to stay overnight. And and then you can be just on your more of your own schedule, which is really cool.
It's a good point about safety, Karen. That's something that I'm very alert to when I travel, and it felt a lot more like Germany and a lot less like Southern Europe there in Croatia.
So, yeah, so, I feel like if we had been in some of the other major cities in Europe, we would have been a lot more worried about where was our wallet, how were we walking? And it's just really, I can't say that there's never going to be any crime, but it's just not known for that. We haven't heard of any incidents. Um, Rachel asks about selecting activities. So there's different ways to approach it depending on your group when you charter a yacht. Sometimes kind of a core set of shared activities might be planned ahead. So for example, you might plan an olive oil tasting in tour in one port with maybe that is combined with a little of historical city tour. You might plan um, a history tour in another town, and you might plan like a hike like a guided hike in a national park in another place. And maybe those three things are what's already included. And then in each port, everybody can kind of decide if they want to pre-plan something. Those could be definitely arranged ahead of time, but it just wouldn't be for everybody on the yacht. It would just be for, maybe a few people or two people. Or some people might just choose to do nothing on certain days. And, there were plenty of things that we felt that we did very easily. Like we pulled into Havar and you could see the fortress, kind of at the top of the town. And our cruise manager told us, here's what it would be like to kind of walk up there and if there's steps, is it paved? Is it not paved? Is there shade? Is there, a bar up at the top? Or here's where you could take a taxi and they would just drive you up. So there's just different ways of experiencing each town. Um, Megan is asking about the Iron Throne. I'm guessing that's a Game of Thrones reference. Harv,
So
did we see the Iron Throne?
we saw an Iron Throne. There's Dubrovnik is really embracing the whole King's Landing moniker. There are definitely a lot of Game of Thrones kind of venues there, but I did get a picture. I don't know if you remember, Karen. I pointed out there was one particular store. There was a Game of Thrones store, and it had a replica of the Iron Throne in it, which is super authentic. and I'm sure for €2 you could go sit in it and have your picture taken.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you can't,
So,
as you walk
yeah.
around Dubrovnik, you can't not see King's Landing because it's everywhere.
And we did do a walking tour of Dubrovnik, and they pointed out some of the sites, but there are some specific tours that you can do that are all Game of Thrones themed. And honestly, one of the best things that I have ever done anywhere in the world was walking the rooftop, the top of the walls in Dubrovnik. You can take them all the way around. There is a fee to get up there, but oh my gosh, it was the most beautiful thing. The stairs getting up and down were not bad at all for someone who is not necessarily very sure-footed. But everywhere you turn, there was amazing, amazing views. There is actually a little bar up there along the way, and I would do that again in a heartbeat next time I'm in Dubrovnik.
You can actually do a bit of a bar crawl around there. There's several little bars and cafes around. It's nice. So you're getting the ocean on one side and you're getting the city on the other. I mean, what an amazing tour for sure.
So I wanted to, kind of mention a little bit about who should go to Croatia and who should take a yacht in Croatia. Um, I'm going to say that everybody should go to Croatia. There is truly something for everybody. We saw young children enjoying the yacht next door to us. It must have been a family who, had chartered the yacht. It would be great for a multi-generational trip or a family reunion or several families traveling together. Absolutely great for just a group of friends, birthday celebrations. People go for special occasions or anniversary celebrations. This could also be a great opportunity for a retreat. We have seen yoga retreats, for example, or wellness retreats. On Croatia yachts, we can combine it with some spa time in port, or just kind of different wellness sessions. You can use it as an educational or meeting experience, like a small corporate group could charter out the whole yacht, an executive team, that sort of thing, or an incentive group. So, if you work with a company that offers incentives, you can charter out the yacht for your incentive group. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the, you know, when is the best time to travel, how far in advance to book, and how do you book? So I would say if you're interested in water sports, which I would say is the main reason, people want to get in the water in Croatia. If you want to make sure that you're going to be able to enjoy the water and the beaches and, the water itself, then you want to go between May and September. Even into late September is fine. The waters are going to be warm. Summer, of course, is peak time. And it is, these towns are rather small. They're not huge cities. And so there are, more and more tourists coming in like the peak times of July and August. When we were there late May, I think it was absolutely the perfect time to go. We had beautiful, beautiful weather. We had, I think, one like day before we got on the yacht that we had a few showers. And the night of our captain's dinner, while we were up on the deck dancing away with the captain, we got a sprinkle that was refreshing because we were so warm from dancing. And otherwise, we had just amazing weather. The water was a little cool in late May, but for me, and everybody who knows me knows I'm like, prefer my pool at 88. I got in and I stayed in and I had a great time just hanging out in the water, swimming around, visiting. And of course, I did the kayaks and the jet skis with Harv. But all the way through September. But they do have yacht charters through late fall and even through the holiday season for those that maybe just love being on the water but not in the water and still want to see some of these towns. And of course, the pricing is incredible during those later times. So those are some great times to to visit Croatia. In terms of when to book, we are actually booking out all the way. We can book out into 2026 if you're interested in chartering an entire yacht. There are some weeks left in 2025 as well, but a lot of 2025 is already getting booked up. So if you're interested for next year and want to charter a yacht, there's limited inventory in terms of number of yachts in Croatia. And we do here at My Path Unwinding have some incredible partners that are local to Croatia and work with yacht captains that own their boats that are local to Croatia, and we want to just make sure that we get you, the right yacht for your group in the right week, and then we can plan the right itinerary. So important to plan ahead. And if you're interested in booking, reach out to your advisor from My Path Unwinding Travel. Reach out to me, and feel free to ask us any questions about this. I have one more video. Hopefully it'll play. I just want to thank everybody for listening in to our webinar tonight. I hope that you learned something. I hope that you're inspired to try something new and plan a trip to Croatia. I feel like there was so much more we could have said and shared. We might have to do a second one to share some more of the details and all the things we experienced and explored. But in the meantime, thank you again. Thank you, Har, for sharing with us as well. It's great having you on with us. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. And please share with your friends. This will be available by recording as well. And have a great night.